Hello children, today we will complete the remaining part of the vocabulary which we were completing in the previous class. That is the textual vocabulary part. Today how to start the second bit. That is, let me read the question. You open your textbooks and pencils. Tick the word, expression which is nearest in meaning to the word underlined in each sentence given below. That means choose the correct word, choose the correct meaning. The first sentence. Pick the correct one. Water sports are not Nick's only thing. He also plays golf with the club tucked. The underlined word is tucked. Tucked under his chin. The given options were kept. For the word tucked, you have to choose an appropriate meaning from the given options. Option A, kept. B, pushed. C, covered. D, tied. Yes, you are correct. Option A, kept, is the correct meaning for the underlined word tucked. 2. Now, number 2. His distraught mother couldn't bring herself to hold him until he was 4 months old. As usual, go through the options. The first one, angry, careless, shy, anxious. The meaning of the underlined word distraught is anxious. Number 3. Despite the risk of bullying, the underlined word is bullying. You need to choose the correct meaning from the given options. That despite the risk of bullying, his parents insisted Nick attend mainstream. Bullying. So the meanings given below are discrimination, humiliation, negligence, failure. The meaning of bullying is humiliation. That means to insult. 4th one. Nick, who was teased and bullied, had an electric wheelchair for mobility. The underlined word is mobility. And a team of carers to help him. The given options were socializing, movement, travel, safety. Answer is option B, movement. Now question number 5. Nick managed to pull through to become an international symbol of triumph over adversity. The underlined word is adversity. And the given options were disability, poverty, difficulties and opposition. Answer for adversity is, or the meaning of the underlined word adversity is difficulties. The last 6th one. The challenges in our lives are there to strengthen our convictions. The underlined word is convictions. And the given options were feelings, practices, beliefs, characters. Answer is beliefs. I hope you have completed. Now let us go through the third bit. Read the following description about persons and fill in the blanks with the words that match with these descriptions. So some words were given, some descriptions were given, and below the descriptions or below the words, sentences with blanks were given where you need to fill with the help of the given words. Let me read out the sentence and the answer. Along with the answer, its meaning also I will write in the bracket. You too do the same thing, that too fill it in textbook itself. Write the answer and beside that in bracket its meaning. First one. Ashok is a very unpleasant and rude fellow. I don't talk to him. The answer is boorish. And most of the time, we'll get the meanings of the answers in the given sentence. Here, the meaning of the answer boorish is unpleasant. Or you can write, let me write the words bit number 2, number 1, answer, and in bracket its meaning. Write it down, Sidharth. Bit number 3, number 1, answer, boorish, its meaning. In sentence itself we can see very unpleasant, rude. I am going to write here bad mannered. Answer 2. Srinu is very confident, elegant and polite. But sometimes he doesn't appear to be sincere. He is so. The word suave meaning is sophisticated. Sophisticated. So, the meaning in sentence you can see confident, elegant and polite. I have written a sophisticated, a new word. Now, blank 3. Sujata is quiet and calm. She doesn't like to spend time with others. She is interested in her thoughts and feelings. So, she is an introvert. Answer, introvert. The meanings as usual, see the sentence, that is quiet and calm. The introvert meaning is quiet and calm. Or you can see thoughts, she is interested in her thoughts and feelings. I'll write here, you can write shy nature and reserved. Question number 4. Ramesh is very sensitive. He always shows sympathy for people who are suffering. He is compassionate. The meaning of compassionate already in text, the sentence see, that is sympathy. Let me write here the meaning of compassionate. Sympathetic. Now question number 5. My neighbor is such a person that he has a feeling of hatred for others. He desires to hurt others' feelings. He is malicious. Feeling of hatredness, malicious. Feeling of hatredness, hateful. Number 6. My father pays careful attention to every detail. He makes thorough planning for everything in our home. He is meticulous. He is meticulous. In sentence, the meaning is given, that is attention. Very careful. Meticulous. Very careful. Seven. Now number 7. Prem is an extremely unpleasant person. He always tries to offend people. He is obnoxious. That means extremely unpleasant. Obnoxious. Extremely unpleasant. Eighth one. My mother is very calm and peaceful. She doesn't get excited or irritated easily. She is placid. She is placid. The answer is placid. The word placid means not easily upset. Here the written meaning for placid is not easily upset. In the given sentence, you can see my mother is calm and peaceful, not excited or not irritated. So the exact meaning is not easily upset. Question number 9. Rahul is a very lively and confident person. He enjoys being with his friends. He is an extrovert. Already we have read here, we come to know the meaning of introvert. That means who is very reserved. Extrovert, the meaning is, in textbook it is given lively, confident. Extrovert. Who enjoys being with others. Tenth one. Sridhar is always afraid of speaking in the class. He is timid, shy in nature. Afraid. In sentence, the meaning is afraid. Shy nature. So these are all the 10 answers for the fill in the blanks and meanings for the words. Now let us go through the grammar part, that is defining and non-defining relative clause. Defining and non-defining relative clause. Grammar. So before explaining you about the defining and non-defining relative clause, I would like to discuss what is the meaning of a phrase and what is the meaning of a clause. Usually we will get some confusion. Though you know very well, sometimes there will be a confusion in between the difference between the phrase and a clause. So let me write the short definition of a clause and a phrase. Write it down. Then you will go to relative clause and the categories of relative clauses. So definition of A clause. Definition of a clause. A clause is a clause is a group of words that contains a subject and a verb. A verb, or you can say a predicate. Here the subject is noun and a verb that have a verb that have a relationship. So usually in clause, the definition of a clause, you see, a clause is a group of words that contains a subject and a verb. Subject here, the noun, and a verb or a predicate that have a relationship. So that means here in a clause, a full sentence, a full meaningful words we are using to give a full sentence with a subject. That means we are going to explain about the noun and verb, the action word, what the noun is doing or what the noun is going to do. The full sentence, the full meaningful sentence is going to be given. That itself is called as a clause. Example, he was eating a mango or banana. So here the tense is not needed, it is not necessary. We can make it into past or simple present also. He is eating a banana. He, this is noun. Eating, verb. Okay. So here the subject about he, otherwise Ram, Shyam, Sita, some name also you can write. About someone, this is the subject we are talking. So what the subject is doing? Eating banana. Eating, that means a verb, action word, noun, naming word. So let us go through the phrase. The definition of a phrase. A group of words that express a single idea but do not form a complete sentence. Example, he was waiting for the rain to stop. So here, though the subject and the verb and everything is given, but the sentence is not completed. He was waiting for the rain to stop. He may go outside or he may go to play. For what he was waiting, it is not given there. But he was waiting to stop the rain. So, an incomplete word, sentence. That is called a phrase. A group of words that express a single idea but do not form a complete sentence. Then something we need to fill there. So according to the situation. So this is the difference between a clause and a phrase. Now let us go through relative clause and its categories. Relative clause. Again, definition. Definition of relative clause is relative clauses give essential or you can write important essential information to define the person or thing. The person or the thing we are talking about. So the definition of relative clause, you see, relative clauses gives essential, or instead of essential you can use the word important information to define the person or thing we are talking about. So about the noun, that may be a thing or that may be a person, and the essential information, some extra information about the person or thing is going to be given, that is by relative clauses. So here the relative clauses, there are two types of relative clause. There are two types of relative clauses. Two types of relative clause. There are two types of relative clause. The first one is defining relative clause. And second one is non-defining relative clause. So there are two types of relative clause. The first one defining relative clause, the second one non-defining relative clause. So before writing the definition, let me give you the meaning of defining relative clause and meaning of non-defining relative clause. Is defining clause give essential information. Which is necessary, which is very important, which is needed. Defining relative clause give essential information which is needed, which is necessary, which is very important. Whereas non-defining relative clause gives the extra information. Non-defining relative clause give extra information, and without which also we can complete the sentence. We can understand the sentence or the meaning of the particular topic. So here the difference in between there are two types of relative clauses. The first one is defining relative clause, and which give essential information, which is very necessary, which is very important. So without that, maybe the sentence is not completed. Whereas the non-defining relative clause gives extra information, without which also the sentence can be completed. So, rules. Here, no commas. No commas. Here, need. So this is the difference in between defining relative clause and non-defining relative clause. While making a sentence, here no need of a comma. But there in the non-defining sentences relative clause, we need to add a comma. You have to complete the sentence with comma. Now the definition. Definition of, I wrote D. Definition of defining relative clause. A defining relative clause already I have given you short definition. This is very important. Clause identifies who or what we are speaking about. Example, the dentist who treated me is my uncle. Example, you see. So rule 1, rules for defining relative clause, no need of commas, whereas non-defining relative clause, there is a need of comma. So here the definition, I wrote D for definition. You see, a defining relative clause identifies who or what we are speaking about whom we are talking, and that too essential information. Here it is given, see in the example given by me, the dentist who treated me is my uncle. Can you avoid here any information? No, the given information is very important. The dentist is my uncle. And see the sentence, nowhere I use commas. Next example number 2. This is the boy who won the race. This is the boy who won the race. Important information is given about the boy, the noun, the subject. Whereas Definition of indefinite relative clause. I am rubbing this rule. Place is not sufficient. Definition. A non-defining relative clause, NDRC, non-defining relative clause, gives extra information about a noun whose identity already we know. Example, my uncle is a dentist. Again the same example. My uncle is a dentist, comma, see, observe the sentence, comma, who plays at the same cricket club as you. As you means like you. So once again, here you see, a defining relative clause identifies who or what we are speaking. Essential information is going to be given in defining relative clause. Example, the dentist who treated me is my uncle. Essential important information about the dentist is given here. Second example, this is the boy who won the race. So again the sentence is completely important. The information about the essential information about the boy is given here. And observe both the sentence, there is no commas. Whereas you come here, a non-defining relative clause gives extra information about a noun whose identity already we know. Example, my uncle is a dentist who plays at the same cricket club as you. That means already you know the person. But even though this, my uncle is a dentist, that much is enough. He plays at the same cricket club. This information, given information is extra about the dentist. So, the extra information whichever is given related to the uncle or related to the dentist is here relative clause. And relative clause is non-defining relative clause. Without this sentence also we will get some meaning for this given sentence already. My uncle is a dentist. So no need to add some extra information about that, without which a sentence can be formed. So that is the difference in between the defining relative clause and non-defining relative clause. So now let us go through the textual exercises. I hope you have noted down. So now the textual exercises. First bit related to the grammar part of relative clause. Read the text again. Text, that means the lesson, and he is asking you to read thoroughly the lesson again and identify some more defining and non-defining relative clause. As already I have told you that as it is first unit, so I will write that on the board, and those are nothing but the sentences taken from the textbook. Already he asked you to take to read the text again and take the sentences which are related to define relative clauses and non-defining relative clauses. So as it is first time, let me write on the board and note it down. The last fifth one is homework for you. You need to write yourself from the textbook, that one. So number 1. Bit number 1. Grammar, textual grammar part, bit number 1. Number 1. Nick has a small foot. Nick has a small foot on his left hip, which helps him balance and enables him to kick. See, is there any comma in this sentence? And moreover, no extra information. Nick has small foot on his left hip, which helps him balance and enables him to kick. So all the information about Nick given here is essential, needed, very important. So what kind of sentence is it, or what kind of relative clause? That is defining. Defining relative clause. Write in bracket. Number 2. Even number 2, that sentence is also from the textbook. Nick who was born, already might have been, you could understand by seeing the punctuation mark I have given. Nick who was born in Melbourne, comma, Australia, but now lives in Los Angeles. Can you tell me what kind of relative clause is it? See here, the one thing I used here the punctuation mark comma. Moreover, if you want, we can say where now Nick is living. Nick is living in Los Angeles. That information is enough. Or Nick was born Melbourne. But here all the extra information about Nick was given. So if you want, you can say Nick lives in Los Angeles, and where he was born and Melbourne, Australia, all those are extra informations. So here that is non-defining relative clause. Non-defining relative clause. Now third one. I have taken all the sentences from the textbook. Check it once. His mom invented a special plastic device that meant it could hold a pen. I hope already you identified what kind of sentence is that. Yes, you are correct. That is defining relative clause, because about the device or the invention of Nick's mother is given there, which is an essential information and very important. Without that important information, the sentence is not yet completed. So this is defining relative clause. Now number 4. Now sentence number 4. When I was 13, I read a newspaper article. About a disabled man who had managed to achieve great things and help others. Once let us go through the sentence. Turn the pages back, children. When I was 13, I read a newspaper article about a disabled man who had managed to achieve great things and help others. Now you see, there is no commas, and the information about the article or about whom Nick read in the newspaper article is given, what he had done. So this is an essential information about the great personality. So This is a defining relative clause. As already I have said you that the fifth one is for you. And fifth one, go through the textbook thoroughly and write one sentence and identify whether it is defining relative clause or non-defining relative clauses. Now bit number 2. Bit number 2 is fill in the blanks. Complete the sentences with defining or non-defining relative clause. Let me read out the question and answer. Write it down. First one. This is the peaceful place where I wanted to live. The answer is where I wanted to live. That is a defining relative clause. The Mahaprasthanam is a popular book which I have bought in exhibition. Let me write the answers, only the blanks on board. Bit number 2, fill in the blanks. With defining relative clause and non-defining relative clause. Only answers, only the blanks. This is the peaceful place where I wanted to live.